probably mute us.
Apparently.
It says live.
I have to wait for it to turn up. Hello.
Can they hear us?
There you go. Yes, the usual reporter. Let us know if you can hear us.
I don't know how delayed chat is.
Yay!
Bunny said, "My babies."
Mama Bunny.
Oh, they're getting delayed, I think.
Oh no! This is what happened on my other one. Wait, is the sound kind of at the same time as you see this? Can you help me with words today, please? I mean, I can try. Is the sound the same as the view?
Does the sound match the visual?
Yes. Someone say yes or no. Also, if it's a no, actually, I don't know what to do, so we'll just gonna roll.
Picture and sound is in sync.
Okay, good.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Score.
Now we can do our song and dance routine in sync.
Like a different stream program, like from what we used before, but actually, surprisingly, so far everything's going well. So hopefully nothing's gonna disconnect. I'll try not to swipe on my mouse like I did before there. But yeah, welcome to the stream, people, and also people on the screen. Welcome. Everyone's linked down below on this video, so make sure to check them out. But today we're here to chat about this book when we get to that, Sorcery of Thorns. But we will let you know if you are here just for the pick for the next month, which I decided to do October and November, just because obviously September is kind of like, already almost done, which let's not dwell on that. And yeah, we'll let you know when we go to Sorcery of Thorns if you have not finished it and don't want to get spoiled. But yeah, I think let's just go ahead and go through the nominations then. I will skip it because mine was Sorcery of Thorns. But as you guys will let us know what you are putting forward, I will quickly, hopefully, put that in a form, and then I'll link the form into the chat so you guys can vote, and we will announce it later, but you can make your vote now, which hopefully will be fun as well. So I'm gonna start from AJ.
So my nomination is Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett, and basically all you need to know is that Brandon Sanderson gave it 5 stars, so you should probably go for it. I don't know too much about it, but what I do know is it's centered around a magical artifact that brings other objects to life, and basically everyone's competing for this artifact, and shenanigans ensue.
Nice. I just looked up the cover and it looks really pretty.
Yeah, it's meant to have a really cool magic system, which I'm all about.
Yeah, I definitely want to read that.
Nice. Oh God. Someone go next?
We're just going in order?
Yeah, you go, Jeff.
Okay. I chose Vortex Visions by Elise Kova because I've had it for it's like the exact opposite of what AJ said. I've had it for forever. I actually haven't heard anybody talk about this. It's like, I know Elise Kova wrote another series that people really, really liked or really, really hated. And that's why I wanted to pick this one up. It's apparently, it says, a desperate princess, a magical traveler, and a watch that binds them together with the fate of a dying world. I know she is like an empress and she has to do something to save her kingdom, but I figured magic, it's good for me.
Cool.
If we're going in order, does that put me next?
Yes.
Yes? Cool. You probably guessed it, Codie. But House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig just sounds really good to me. Listening to what other people have said as well, sounds really good. It's about a girl who lives in a manor by the sea with her 12 sisters, and from what I know about it, the sisters are like dying, but they don't think it's as simple as it appears to be, and it's a bit creepy. Codie's nodding, so I think I've got this right.
Yeah.
But it sounds really atmospheric and creepy, and I would like to read it.
Nice.
Okay. I nominate The Grinch. No, I'm joking. I nominate The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millward Hargrave. This one is apparently a sort of like YA gothic retelling of Dracula and his brides. So it's like, you know how like Circe was for the Odyssey? Like this is kind of like for Dracula kind of thing. So yeah, it's sorry. Is that good? Yeah. Did I spell it?
Kev, like that enough? Can I stop talking?
I don't know anything else about it other than just Dracula, Brides of Dracula, gothic retelling. Yeah. And it's short and pretty.
Also a bonus. Not in all scenarios, but you know. Max.
Now there's me. So I changed mine because someone else picked it.
What did you have?
I had Jade's.
Oh, nice.
You can double up if you want, so it's one less of an option. Up to you.
Okay. I'll just go rogue and go Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. I don't know how to keep it in the frame. And I don't know much about it. It's set in like Japan and it's got Japanese myths in it. And I heard there's a dragon. So
Enough.
that's all I got.
Enough for me.
Has anyone read this one from the group?
No.
Nope.
Boundary Side's been on my TBR for forever, so I'm going to turn coat and vote for AJ.
Yeah.
I'm also offering cookies, so...
Yeah.
Codie?
Oh, okay. I'm picking one that I don't own, but I've heard good things about, and I feel like it would be good for the October spooky vibes. Heard a lot of good stuff about it. It's Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I don't know how you pronounce that. And all I know is that it's about a witch and a witch hunter who have to go into an arranged marriage, which doesn't usually sound like my kind of thing because romance, but witches. So I feel like that could be a good option perhaps for the October read, but yeah, that's my one. Although I do really want to read both Foundry Side and Deathless Girls, so I'm kind of doubting all of this now.
I want to read them all.
Yes, they all kind of sound really good. So
Yeah.
very
We're on for a good couple of months, whatever it is.
yeah. And I've put the link now in there for you. So hopefully all of the options are there. Try to type as I listen, but my multitasking today is like so let me know if something's missing. Cool. That was really quick. Let me know as well what you guys are hoping that's gonna win in the comments as well. Well, in the chat. Are any of you guys that nominated a book wish that another one actually would win?
Foundry Side.
Plot twist.
We vote for everyone else's books.
But Foundry Side is really big, so I'm
Yeah.
like even more excited.
I'm eager for Foundry Side. I have just bought City Stairs. I haven't tried that one yet. But like, if Sanderson gave it a great review, I'm going to want to read it. Like, yes.
Yeah, I really need to get my ass on the Stormlight.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do. Oh, yes.
She's just like- okay, so I think let's just move on into the book then. It was very, very quick this time. Yes, so this is going to be your warning if you have not read this book and don't want to be spoiled. We will see you next time, hopefully, for the discussion.
Boundary Sides chat.
AJ is so sure.
Let me check what's winning, actually. I know it's just started, but...
Yeah, I mentioned
Can I vote more than one?
The Deathless Girls! But it can change.
AJ, we can still buddy read Foundry Side.
Sounds
AJ
good.
and I will do our own live stream for Foundry Side. It's fine, it's fine.
Nobody's saying Deathless Girls in the chat though.
know what wins.
Where do we vote? How do I fix these votes?
Make a new account every
How
time.
many Google accounts do you have, AJ?
Where did I lose the chat? This? Yeah. Okay, so we'll see the ones that are not wanting to be spoiled next time, but we're gonna go on to the Sorcery of Thorns now. And as per usual, I think let's just start with the little did you finish it? If you did, you rated it. Hey, we have what? Hey, I'm being gentle.
I know. I'm so sad.
And then like what star you gave it and some just generic thoughts, because obviously we're gonna go into more details, but just like from generic thoughts. So let's start with Gav.
Okay, so Sorcery of Thorns, I give 3 stars, and it is like, just to sum it up, like who is she? Like I just like now I just don't know what's kind of gone on anymore. I've read like 10 books in Sorcery of Thorns, so I'm just like it's all gone like out my head. From what I remember, I did not like any of the characters. I didn't even like Hawthorne. I didn't. That was his name, right? It was Hawthorne, wasn't it?
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel. Yeah.
Wow.
Silas. Like, did I read it? Yes, I did. Silas. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I didn't like anybody, and like for that, it just made it so less enjoyable because I just wanted to connect with at least one of them, but I found a lot of them to be very stupid. I'm sorry, but I just didn't connect. Like I just didn't connect. Although I did think it started off really well. I thought it started off so good, especially like in the library setting, and we have her trying to be the warden. Her name is Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, Elizabeth. She wants to be a warden.
Earlier.
I feel like you need more batteries, Gav. I don't know.
Jim, not bring that up. Yeah, Elizabeth didn't look enough for batteries for me, but she was like so. I don't know. She started off like so great in that library setting, and I think as it went on, she kind of just got like, for me, like I started to connect with her less and less and less. So I thought like with Dread Nation, how it was like it started off at the school, and then as soon as it leaves that premise, I started to like it less. But as soon as Sorcery of Thorns moved away from the opening sort of world with that library, it just my interest just went like this. It just went down. So it was like really hard to connect. I think I got to the midpoint and I was like, I don't know what the villain wants. I don't know like what the goal is right now. I don't understand why certain things are happening. And yeah, it was just, yeah, I really wanted to like it though. I've never read Margaret Rogerson before. So this was my first one with her, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. The writing I thought was absolutely fine. So I had no problem with the writing. I just, plot wise, wasn't there for me. Character wise, wasn't there for me. Just all.
That's all right. Just for the contrast, let's go for Jade now.
Sorry.
Went off the bat, as soon as I finished it, I gave it 5 stars. And then a little bit of time passed and I went down to 4 because I tend to be more strict with my 5-star ratings and it didn't quite compare to some of the other 5s. But I, all in all, had a very enjoyable time. I did like Elizabeth. I definitely liked Nathaniel. And I thought Silas was very interesting. I get where you're coming from with Elizabeth potentially being a bit ditzy. But considering her circumstances, her naivety is completely believable because she's grown up in one environment where everything she's been told she's taken for law, and she's now being exposed to a whole nother world that she didn't even know existed, and there's so much more complexity to everything than she first thought. So her stupidity kind of makes sense because she's learning all this like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I really liked the relationship building. It was a bit sappy, which doesn't normally mesh with me, but I was there for it. And I think it's because of what Jess said when she compared Nathaniel to Howell. Didn't see it any other way and was sold. So
that's probably why we agreed on it.
There we go.
Can I just say, actually, a lot of people did compare him to Howell, and I do see that. I agree with you there. But I
Yes,
just thought
validate me.
yeah, but I found him just that much of a carbon copy of Howl. He just didn't have his own personality. I thought it came off as very arrogant, like he came off very brash, and I was just like, I wasn't
You
living
don't
for
think
it.
Howl is arrogant?
Yeah, but he does it in such a way that I was just like so attracted to Howl. You know what I mean? It's just like he has this charisma about him, but I just didn't find it in this one. I thought he was just straight up arrogant rather than arrogance with charisma. But I do see the connection. I do. I'll agree on you with that one. I see it.
Cool. Just to add to the like little bits, like, can you tell me, Gav, if you like listened or read it?
I read it just physically, yeah. With the book that you gave me as well.
The audiobook was awful.
Oh, was it?
That's why I'm like bringing it up to like bring
Yeah,
it up.
the audiobook was fucking terrible.
What about you, Jade?
I did bits and bits. I flicked between the two throughout.
Cool. Okay, let's go to AJ.
So I did technically finish the book, but I had to listen to like the last few chapters multiple times and still didn't take it in. So I had to get G to tell me what happened at the end.
Oh yeah.
And even now, I still don't know. So yeah, maybe not an actual finish. I just didn't care. I think I just lost any interest. I think it did start pretty strong. But then, yeah, pretty rapidly, it just ran out of steam and just couldn't get invested in any of the characters. I think that was the main problem for me. And I did listen to it on audiobook. I didn't think the performance was too bad, but there was definitely bits in there where the actual audio quality recording was off. It felt like there were bits that had been put in later, like after the original recording was done, which threw me out a few times. But yeah, I think that's it really. I just didn't really care enough to care about anything that was going on. So yeah, 2 stars, I guess, kind of.
Ooh.
Jess?
I gave it 5 stars, and everybody can suck it. I really liked it, and I have my cat here for emotional support. I actually really liked it, but I think the reason why I liked it is because I'm a pretty critical reader. But I actually took a leaf out of Jade's book going into this one and decided to read it for enjoyment. And I really enjoyed it because, like Jade, I liked the easiness of the characters. They weren't super complex for me, which I can see why people don't like that. I feel like the story wasn't super over complex either, which I also really enjoyed. But I think the thing that I really liked is I do see a lot of Howl and Nathaniel, but definitely they're not the same person. And also there is a lot of like, what are you doing? There's a lot of, for me, like D&D references in the book as well. Like how Nathaniel has to take upon himself the demon to be able to do certain things that he's able to do in the book. So that really appealed to me as well. But mostly I think the reason why, I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I read it in like 3 or 4 days. No, actually I think I read it in a day. But for me, it was just a really easy read, and having read a lot of heavy stuff recently, I think that's part of the reason why I liked it. It wasn't super complex and it was really easy to digest, but I can see why people didn't like it.
And did you listen or read it? Like physically or?
I read it.
Read it. Cool. I'll go next. So like I totally understand, and I obviously really wanted to like it. It was my pick. I think very similarly to AG, I just did not care. And to me, no matter how like easygoing the book is, if I don't care about the characters, just as a reader, I just can't give a shit. And then I think that is why it took me, I think maybe a month to get through this book. Because every time I put it down, like when I was reading it for the first half of the book, I was like, yeah, this is okay, like it's fine. But then every time I would put it down, I would not want to pick it back up. And then for the second half, I was just sort of reading it because I felt my mind going blank as I was reading it. And then when when you do that and then you have to go back a paragraph because you're like, oh my God, I dozed off. That's what was happening here. I just did not care. But I did like one of the bits. And that was obviously this is a spoiler zone, so I'm just gonna say it, but that was when Silas sacrificed himself. And then that was like what, and at the end, then I was like, okay, no, now like that I really like. That was like kind of unexpected for this kind of book. And then it was all undone in the bloody epilogue, and it made me actually like rage a bit.
I remember you posting about it.
Frustrating. Yeah, I actually posted about it, which I never do. Like I never like go to a rant. And I felt like this really suffered from the no consequences trope of the actions at all. I felt like Gav said, I did not know what the main goal of the villain was until the actual like reveal of it. And for me, when there's no like bits and pieces for you to pick up within the story until the actual reveal, I'm just like, okay. And didn't really care for either of the characters. Even for the main characters, I didn't really know what their goal was. It was just a bit, yeah. So it was kind of sad. I got 2 stars for this. And I swapped, it was like 50-50 for the audiobook and the physical. I didn't actually hate the narrator for the audiobook. I did really just dislike her voice for the best friend, which I think would have been much better in the book. I wish she actually had more of a role in the book because I did like her character. You know, the best friend from the first library plays that they are. I like her like sort of sass, but the narrator did her really dirty though. That particular character, she made it sound like a Karen, you know. But yeah, that's me. So, Bex.
So I enjoyed it. So I originally was giving it a 5 stars. Yeah. I originally gave it 5 until I read the epilogue, and I was like, you can't. I just had a whole rage about this in the August month. People kept doing this, and I got really angry. But just, I hated that because she didn't commit. Like, if you're gonna do something, just commit. Just do it. But I really liked it other than that.
Are you having King of Scars flashbacks? Is that why you're like...
It's just, I don't like it. I'm still angry. It's fine. But no, I think the author did a good job knowing what would sell, because you say to book lovers, set in a library, and we all go and like grab it. So I think that was really smart, and I really I liked it. I think the main character was the only one that really just annoyed me. And that was just, and probably helped because the audiobook as well. I read the audiobook throughout. But it was all right. I liked it.
Cool.
Okay. I gave it like a 3.5 or something. I was loving the beginning. I read it all physically, though I dragged my feet with it at the end. Like you were saying, I was like kind of rushed through the first half, and then the second half took me like a week, which was a long time for me. Like usually I devour books pretty quickly. My main issues with it was, yes, they knew how to market it, like Bex said. I'm just going to mirror a lot of what you guys have just said. But yeah, library, demonic books, so much to love about it. But I kind of picked it apart a little bit because the world building, we only got to find out about this small area. Like, are there sorcerers outside of this area? What about the libraries there? Do they have libraries elsewhere? Is it just this town? Like, it was just so contained. So the magic system as well didn't have any rules, really. They had the rules for how the grimoires were made, but the sorcery, there was like no limitations to what the sorcerers could do, right? When they were going up against each other, you never really knew who was going to win, because it was like, oh, well, he's dead, but he's just managed to do this, that, and the other. Like, how? That made no sense to me. And also the villain was bland. He was just powerful for the sake of being powerful. He just wanted that power and that greed for like literally no reason. I can't remember his motivation. I'm sure he went on a long villainous monologue, but I can't remember why. And the chosen one trope a little bit as well, because Elizabeth can do something really cool, or you're led to think that she can do something really cool, and then it's like, oh, she can just talk to the books. So
Yeah.
what was that? But yeah, that's basically what I thought. Just really not very memorable. I had no notes until you all started talking, and then I was like, oh yeah, the world building, the magic system. But before that, I couldn't really remember anything. So yeah, it's like a standard 3-star for me, unfortunately. It's alright, but didn't love it, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. Did the other people can talk to the books, like the grimoire,
I think it was just her.
or was it just her?
I think it was just her, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fact that none of us can remember.
It was just her. I'm pretty sure the other
I was
warden.
going to say a bunch of
I
people can
think
talk to them.
her mentor was telling her like, "Oh, don't listen to them. They do this all the time." Don't listen to them."
Yeah, everybody can be, but she is able to kind of.
She's sort of
herself, like,
immune to them a bit.
Yeah, because she grew up with
She
them.
was immune to them, yeah.
Yeah.
And it,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely had something going on.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was something about like because she.
She was like what were they called? Like the bookworm thing, like the actual worm things that live there or something. And because they live there, they're immune to the magic, and she'd been there for so many years.
Like super young. I can't remember what they're called.
No, me neither.
Oh, it's a malefic, something.
No, not the books. The little bugs or something.
Oh, okay.
They're not fleas or something.
The book mites or something like that.
Book mites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something.
Something.
Book lice. It was lice.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with the more positive things, I suppose.
Yes, please.
Favorite scene or something positive. What were the things that you liked in the book, even if you didn't really enjoy it, or if you did enjoy it, what did you like the most? We'll start with you now.
I liked the most was Silas. I thought he was the most interesting character up until the epilogue when it was like, well, fuck then. Also, I really liked that we had like some differences to your usual YA fantasy in the sense that she did have panic attacks, right? I think. And she was like tall, and that was like a big thing in the book. Like, she's 5'10" or 5'11" or something, which isn't that tall.
Like, how tall I am.
Average, I guess it's higher than average. And also Nathaniel was bi, which I thought was pretty good. Like he had like, banter between male and females. But yeah, mostly just Silas. I really liked Silas. I jived with him.
He can make a good cup of tea, can't he? He can make a good cup of tea.
With his white gloves.
Any scenes.
What about you, AJ?
Well, I like the concept.
Struggling there.
I think the most memorable scene was probably like the first big fight scene. I think where with Nathaniel and Elizabeth, they were like fighting against demons or whatever, attacking the carriage. And yeah, I imagine as most people, Silas was probably the best character. Although I still think underutilized. Like I could have got more of Silas. Like we could have gone a lot deeper with him. But yeah, concept and that scene were probably like my favorite parts of it.
Nice. Jess?
My favorite part is actually when Elizabeth first gets into the town with Nathaniel, and she is cornered by. Why are you leaving me? She is cornered by the demons in like the alleyway, and they're like on the carriage going through the town. I actually really liked that because I'm one of those people that when I read, which I think G, you're kind of the same way, like fight scenes or like super action heavy scenes, I tend to skim because I just need to know how it goes from A to B. I don't actually, because it feels like filler to me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't skimming. I was like actually really interested in that whole scene. I thought it was done really well. That's the thing that like, I mean, I liked this book, but that really stuck out to me as different from the way that I normally read things or different from things that I normally enjoy in books. Like being able to enjoy that, even though I don't normally enjoy that kind of stuff in other books that I read.
That makes sense. Jade?
The bit that really stuck with me and still sticks with me is when we learn about Nathaniel's like trauma in his past and how everything that happened to him in his family and him as a child kind of stuck with him and his like night terrors and how he didn't want Elizabeth staying in the house because of the things that he does in the night and he can't control himself and all of the results of his trauma. I felt that.
That was one of the bits that I was really hopeful at while I was reading that, because that's something that I know everyone's obviously saying that it's like Howl's Moving Castle, but to me it was a bit more like Full Metal Alchemist because of that bit. But I was really hoping it's going to be brought up a bit more. And I know maybe not everyone would have liked it for a lot of focus on that, but I just wish they like explore that side way more, because that's something I would have been really interested in as well. That was interesting story. Gav?
Actually, it's really random because I know I said that I only really enjoyed the first part, when she's like at, her original home sort of thing. But there's actually a moment, sort of, I think in the midway point, where she's sneaking into the library, in the new place that she lives at now. I can't remember why she was doing that. I'm sure she's trying to steal like a really important book. I think that's what's happening. And I really enjoyed that because it really reminded me, and this is really stupid, but I think it was like the first Harry Potter game where you're sneaking through the library and like August it reminded me of that. And that's the reason why I love it so much, is it just like made me feel so nostalgic just for that game. So like it was really weird, but I just really enjoyed it for that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was like
my favorite bit in the book is not because of the book bit.
No, it's because it reminded me of a different thing. So yeah, I really enjoyed that bit. But I can't think of anything else.
I lost my train of thought because of Gavin. I think the dialogue between Nathaniel and Silas was probably my favorite bit. I don't know, I really liked their relationship, and it was kind of like really nurturing, but like a bit strange because Silas doesn't pretend to be anyone who he isn't. Like he said that to her at some point during the book, like, don't forget that I'm also evil. Like if given the chance, I will steal your life. So that's just what's going to happen. And I thought that was really, really interesting. But no matter that relationship, Nathaniel still trusted him with like everything, even though he was aware how evil he was.
I know.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I did feel like Silas was more like lying to himself and trying to convince himself that he's still evil. Like I got that kind of vibe, because not at any point did I actually think he was like a threat. I feel like it was more like himself, like I'm reminding myself who I was by telling you, so beware. But like, it's probably gone. That's why I liked him, because it was a bit more.
Is it bad that I probably would have liked the book more if he'd have actually killed people?
Same.
Like
I'm with you.
Consequences.
Yeah, especially after all of that talk.
Like if you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm so evil," like prove it, bitch.
Yeah. I do like that vulnerability though. Like if it was a bit explored in the sense that like he is just trying to say that for his own sake.
Yeah.
But nah.
Yeah.
So let's look at the comments actually. What are you guys loving about the book?
Or hating?
Book lies in like all capital. Well, Chris said book lies, but I don't think that was the answer to the question.
Cat Silas was great. I agree.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Cat Silas, yeah. Gosh, I forgot about that.
Elizabeth and Matthias' first meeting, where she's spying on him. Ooh, I can't remember.
When she falls out of the secret hiding place and behind the bookshelves.
Someone said he did kill a few people. Yeah, I wanted more. Not enough death.
No wonder my last one was like instantly demonetized.
I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't happen this time.
I don't monetize these. It's fine.
Oh, it's cool.
When Elizabeth got attacked in the alley.
Yeah.
Why would you like that? Oh no, it was and he did kill a few people when Elizabeth. Oh, okay. I misunderstood. Yes, I love the book lies. Okay, my bad. Favorite part of the book, book lies. How did you guys? Oh, I'm wondering. How did you guys all imagine the books turned evil? What are they called?
Like your pillow.
What
the monster book of monsters?
But when they're like turned into like extra bad, how are they called? Like that's what you guys.
Malefacts.
Malefacts.
I'm not gonna lie, I imagined them like No Face when No Face got really fat.
Ooh,
Could see that.
interesting.
We
Yeah.
got a lot of Ghibli going on in this book for some reason.
No
could
Face
see that.
from Spirited Away for those
Yeah.
confused faces.
I just saw them as books with a big face. That's it.
That's it. I can't remember. Like, I never really had. That's why I'm asking, because I never really had like a visual. I
Well,
was always kind of
turned into creatures. They like turned into like other creatures. They like turned into like actual. The one that I remember like the most was the one who chases down her and the girl at the asylum that she's put into, and it turns into like a whole fucking kind of looks like a bull, I think, in the book. That's what every time it happened, I just pictured them as like creatures and not like, you know, a giant book or something like attacking people.
Wasn't the one that smelt really bad at the end? I don't know if I'm making that up. Like, they were like, "Oh, am I right?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Codie remembers. There's one that smelled really
I
bad.
remember. I remember. That and not enough death.
Yeah. More violence, less smelly things.
Not enough. So, for the people who like the book, so Bex, Jess, and Jade, did you guys like the what are your thoughts on the epilogue?
I fucking hated the epilogue.
No way.
Okay.
Had it been more than like 10 pages, it would have brought it down to a 4-star.
Okay.
But I really like Silas, so at the same time, I was like, well, here's the thing. I was really excited because I was like, maybe there will be a sequel and maybe it'll be about Silas. And she talks about possibly writing a book from Silas's, like about Silas, which is why I think maybe she did that. But I don't really enjoy when authors do that, when they like pre-think, you know what I mean? Like end one book how you want to end it and then write something new, or like he could have still died and there been like a prequel to the book about his life or just something completely separate.
Or like this underground world.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I knew when he died that he wasn't going to stay dead. So I guess part of that was like, I knew that was kind of what was going to happen. So I wasn't so disappointed. But I mean, I'm with you guys. If he was going to die, just let him fucking die. Like, don't just keep resurrecting.
I wanted him to refuse the bargain, like when they tried to summon him back. And I wanted him to just turn it down for like Nathaniel's sake. So that's where he's like, you can see that he's changed because he doesn't want to bit.
I was really hoping that he would kill Nathaniel.
Same.
Like, throughout most of the book, I was like, this is how this is going to end. He's going to kill Nathaniel. Because I was really hoping, it's because I read something she put on Goodreads that was like, this book, other than, aside from my other book, doesn't have a whole lot of romance. It's like a subplot to the book. It's like a very minor point. And I'm like, cool, so there's not going to be a romance. So Nathaniel can die and Silas can kill him. But no.
That's interesting she said that, because I felt like the romance was one of the main things here.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would not say that this was low romance.
However, if you compare it to
Enchantment of Ravens,
it is a lot less romance.
That's what she said in the article. She's like, just for people who've read my other book, like it's a lot less romance. It's like a subplot, because I guess Enchantment of Ravens is just
Enchantment of Ravens is just
romance. Fair enough. Let's have a little peek into the votes. See. The Deathless Girls is still winning,
And
but
then-
not much. And then Serpent and Dove.
Nice.
No, sorry, I'm dumb. And then House of Salt and Sorrows. Then Serpent and Dove. Then Foundry Side.
oh, AJ, we're gonna.
You represented everyone. Thank you.
And then Shadow of the Fox.
Where is?
But still many. You know what? I'm gonna share this on Instagram. Actually, that's where most of the people come from.
No, because it'll change.
Just whilst you're doing that, can I talk about the epilogue again?
Yeah.
Because I just had a reread. The end of the epilogue is just that she said Silas's name and then all the candles snuffed out and the wind got weird. Because I was thinking, the epilogue was not great because it gave the impression that you're undoing everything. But you can totally twist that in your mind to the candles snuffed out, nothing happened. But
Yeah, but then you just
Yeah,
lie
but
to
that's
yourself.
not her intention, though. You know, that's not the intention.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to twist this to make yourself
Yeah.
in some way.
To protect yourself.
Yeah.
Since we were speaking of the romance, are we shipping Nathaniel and Elizabeth?
Eh.
I didn't care.
Can we
didn't
ship Nathaniel and
care.
Silas? Because I'm more interested in that.
That-
Yes, girl. High five.
Wait, Cody, do you want them to fall in
Animal.
love, or do you want Silas to kill him?
I will protect.
I'm so confused.
Cody has to clarify.
Yeah.
Do
exactly.
you want Nathaniel and Silas together, or do you want Silas to kill Nathaniel, or is there like a particular
Both.
order?
Oh,
you
Both.
like?
What do you want?
Romeo
Yeah.
and Juliet style, both go out.
I could
Okay.
Oh, what the
Oh.
hell is this? Oh, all the way back up.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't really like with romances. Maybe because I'm such a cynic. I don't know. I just don't ever connect to love and relationships. Really, I don't know what it is. Maybe I have to talk to somebody about this. But if people fall in love, I don't want to know about it. The first thing I want in a book is for them to break up. I mean, in real life, it's fine. In real life, it's fine. But in a fictional form, I'm just like, I don't pay to read this.
That is the most honest thing I've ever heard on the internet.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
like, fuck relationships in books.
Yeah.
I'm the same
Yeah, I
way.
hate relationships.
I'm usually the same way unless it's a queer relationship, and then I'm all for it.
I seem so bad for that as well, actually.
Why is that? Why is
I
that?
don't know. I'm the same way. I don't know what it is, but maybe it can't be because I can't relate. Because I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know what it is. You guys can be my therapist.
I feel like it's hard. Like you have to really like both characters, and you have to like both characters together. So that's like a lot of prerequisites. So I feel like it really rarely happens, but like sometimes it does.
Yeah.
I can't think of.
Friendship over a relationship over a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Friendship.
Yeah. Although I do like Jack and Rose together in Titanic. I love them too. But like I can't think of a single book where like I love
The iconic book Titanic.
the iconic book, the iconic fictional book Titanic. You know, I just can't think of one. So like I knew kind of going into Sorcery of Thorns that it was just gonna be a really hard sell for me. I'm sorry. I'm just such a cynical old lady.
Yes, red, white, and royal blue. That's what I because
Yes.
Cow.
Yeah.
The sound that you just made.
Yes. Red, white, and royal. The other color. Yes. Love it.
The other color.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't like. I don't know. In Mistborn, there's a pair that's okay.
Yeah, I don't really care for them. Do you? Oh, which one?
Oh, I did.
Which one?
I don't want to say.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I thought of another one. Sorry, Alucard and Rye.
Oh, yeah.
Alucard deserves the world.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, sorry, I've just totally went off topic. Sorry.
Lila doesn't, but
Oh,
anyway.
looking, I
Like, I swear to fucking God. Jade's just gonna rage quit her computer and leave. It's fine.
I missed something. What happened?
Done.
Talking about Lila, it's fine.
Jade is leaving.
Oh, she should just be alone forever.
Oh,
Actually, she'd be happy with that. To be fair, so
yeah, so she
like,
begins.
I think she would actually be happiest alone.
That's how I feel about Mia for a lot of the Nevernight books as well. Like happier
Yeah.
alone.
I like her with Trig though. Unpopular opinion.
Same.
Jade, are you crying? It looks like you're crying. Oh my God.
Jade just ended our friendship.
She's writing you a scathing Instagram message as we speak.
Relationship with the same exact person, like a Lila too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lila with a Lila too would just end in murder.
So they just killed her.
And wouldn't it be nice?
Great book. I'd love it.
Yep.
But yeah, okay. So, who was your like least favorite character?
Elizabeth.
I was going to say the villain.
Often,
Yeah, I'm with Gav.
main characters usually like least favorite.
Like no one loves Harry. I love Harry.
Well, here's the thing. I liked all the characters, but if you're making me choose least favorite, I would say.
More than Ash. You like her more than Ashcroft?
Yeah.
I mean, you just like her more than Ashcroft, even. Sorry.
Is that the
Because I
villain?
hated Ashcroft more than I
Yeah.
cared for her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that. I get
Ashcroft's the villain.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
He's a terrible villain, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
even
exactly
as a
why.
villain, his whole like villain thing, he wasn't actually that villainous, and I was like, God damn it.
that. Yeah.
Silas was more villainous than he was.
What do you want to do? I just want to open a hole. Like,
I am destined.
what a great villain motivation.
Yeah.
Like, you read 300 pages or like 200 pages without really knowing what's happening, what's the thread. And then like you find the dude like, I want to dig a hole.
Yeah.
I like that.
So I suppose, I don't know. Maybe he's my least favorite then, because I just wanted some force, to be reckoned with.
He was so easily fooled as well. You know, when Elizabeth was pretending that she had amnesia and stuff, like he bought that. Like he just ate that up. He was
him and his demon that's supposed to be like just as powerful as Silas, and she's like, I fucking have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and she's not that good of an actress. Like don't know. She's not that good of an actress. I could tell.
She's like interactive with like
Titanic.
people on the Max her entire life, but she's like, I am a master manipulator, even though I talk to books way more than I talk to actual people. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
As I said, she's my least favorite. She like served her purpose, but I wouldn't say she was like super enjoyable for me.
No. She was like, I'm the mean girl.
But did she try and be like Daenerys by the end of it, like breaker of chains kind of thing? Because I wrote that in my notes, but I didn't explain. It just said, is she trying to be Daenerys? I can't remember why I wrote that, but I think like towards the end, she was like trying to change everything or something like that. She was trying to like break people free of something. I don't know why I wrote that though, but I wrote it for a reason. So why was she trying to be a breaker of chains? I can't remember.
And she wanted to free all the evil demons.
Read all the books in the Great Library.
Yeah, she wanted to like free all the other demons, didn't she? Is that when? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that might be what it is.
Free them. She was freeing them so that they could serve her.
Okay. So why did I write that? That's so confusing. But I felt I had to bring it up.
Gavin.
Yeah, sorry. I just had to bring it up though. I was lying heavily on my chest. So.
So if there was a sequel of some type, would you read it?
No.
Only if Silas was the main character.
Yeah.
Would you read it though if it was Silas?
And I would need him pre-Nathaniel so he could actually be as evil as he's supposed to be.
Instead of making cuppas all the time.
Yeah, right. Warming the bed.
I'll say no. I wouldn't read a sequel. I think it wrapped up fine. I don't care what happened after the epilogue because we'll pretend the epilogue never happened and a sequel's bound to go on from that. So
they lived happily ever after.
What if it was a prequel though? Like, what if it was like Silas's prequel?
That'd be cool.
But I just didn't enjoy the way that this book was written, so I have no faith that the prequel.
Yeah, I wouldn't read it either. But like, I was just wondering.
I mean, I'd wait for the reviews first, and then I'd probably read it.
And this one's pretty highly reviewed, to be fair.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to say, I see a lot of people in chat saying because people didn't like the book that they're not going to bother with it. Y'all got to make your own conclusions from the books that you want to read.
I always.
That's like a big thing I keep seeing online right now. People are like, "Oh, my favorite person didn't like this book, so even though I really wanted to read it, I'm not going to read it." You should still read the book.
I mean, you could read like a chapter or two to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I do also like to make my own opinion, but obviously, if you want a bunch of people for their reviews and opinions, then and if your taste is similar, but I mean, what did you guys think about the writing style?
Yeah, I thought it was fine, to be honest.
I think it was very notable.
Yeah. It wasn't the writing style that was the issue for people who had the issue, right?
There was only sometimes when I think like the dialogue came off a little bit cheesy. I think it was like a moment when
there was definitely that.
Yeah, but I think that was probably definitely she tried to, like Jade said before, actually, because it's just now I know that Elizabeth has been brought up in this kind of world and stuff, so she is a bit naive. So I understand that, but I think there was a moment where she was confronted with a grimoire or something, and like it's trying to trick her, and she's like, "You're trying to trick me," and it's just like it felt like the narrator was repeating. Oh no, sorry, the person who was speaking was repeating everything the narrator was saying, kind of thing. So like we knew that she was being tricked, but then the character had to say she was being tricked, and then the grimoire was saying, "Yes, you're right, you're being tricked," kind of thing. It was just like it was just a lot of trickery going on.
People.
Yeah, it was just a backwards and forwards between like the narrator and the dialogue. So I just felt like it was a little bit like that. I didn't really like it as much, but other than that, I didn't have any problems with the writing style, really. Just dialogue.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just didn't feel all that original to me because we had the same kind of white protagonist. We had the same kind of who's like a little bit naive, and then we had like obviously for good reason.
A little bit naive.
Yeah, but she's lived in a library all her life, hasn't she? I suppose.
No, I understand the reasons, but I just felt like it was a bit like done very much on purpose because it's easy.
So it could info dump, yeah. And then we had like the brooding guy with like the tragic backstory who actually had a heart of gold, and then we had this villain who's not really a villain. You just want powers for the sake of having the power. And then we had the epilogue where there was no bad consequences, and it just felt a little bit like I've read this before.
Yeah, and even
did the villain only want the power? Did he not have some like?
I can't remember.
It was a family backstory, like generations of his fathers had been planning this.
But wasn't it like for like a good reason or something?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a good reason.
I can't remember.
I thought it was like, oh, I'm saving you all, and you're ruining it by doing this. Or I don't know.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nathaniel kind of reminds me of Reset now I think about it.
Yeah, for me,
I did make that connection at one point.
For me, it was
especially with the evil bit. You know when he's asleep and then that shit starts happening when he's dreaming. I was like, oh, I've read that before.
I feel like even if a book has all of the things that you mentioned, it can still be done nicely because obviously tropes are tropes for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, even if there's a lot of them, I just felt like something was missing. But I think for me personally, what was missing is my ability to care about the characters. The more I read books, the more I understand, even if it's an action-packed book, I need to care at least about one person's faith in the book. Otherwise, I'm not going to really enjoy it. Or I actually realize that if I don't particularly care about the characters, then it has to be a mystery book because it has to be some sort of like pull for me to. So in fantasy, if I don't care about the characters, then not so much. So for me, I think maybe a bit more depth in any of these characters would have probably changed the rating by a lot. Because the writing style was not hard to read. And it flowed quite well, and the pacing was not bad. So I think if I just had different characters or characters differently done, it would have completely changed my perspective on the book. Obviously, it didn't help that it took me so long with so many breaks in between the chapters and stuff to read it. I'm sure it didn't help. But that was because I didn't feel like I cared enough to pick it up. If you guys could change something about this book, would you change something? Like what particular thing you would want to change the most?
The epilogue.
Characters for sure.
I'm same with AJ. I need the character. I'm like you as well, Jay. Like I needed to care, and I just couldn't.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing.
What about you?
Motive and consequences.
Yeah, consequences for me too.
Yeah, I think motive would probably help the characters a lot. So I wasn't very clear.
I wanted a little bit more world building and a little bit more grounding in the magic as well. I didn't know what the rules were with the magic. What could sorcerers do? What couldn't they do?
Yeah.
Like, couldn't they go up against the book? I was confused for a lot of it, I think.
Puzzled. Which is odd because when you read it, you don't feel confused, right? Like, because it's so easy to read.
Yeah, it's
I did think it was easy to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Bex?
Oh, same consequence. Epilogue just really ruined it for me.
What about you, Jess?
I don't know what to say that everybody else hasn't already said.
That's fair. Let's like stop at something positive though.
I want to see
While
what
we're all moaning
people-
about it, let's not forget that Jess gave it 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars. Bex, what
Yeah.
did you actually give it in the end?
4.5.
See, that's 3 pretty high ratings out
I
of
didn't
this
say
three.
the people in chat. If there's people in chat that have read it, what rating did they give it? I'd like to see. We're probably like the people that didn't enjoy it are definitely in the minority, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So if you have read it, let
got
us
one.
know what rating you gave it in chat.
Yeah.
Now we all sit and watch the chat.
Yeah.
Like somebody sing and dance.
3.5.
Yeah, I gave it a
3.
3.5. I was kind of in the middle.
I gave it a 3, which is still pretty good, to be fair.
It was a 4 for me
3.
until the epilogue, then I was like, 3.5.
DNF. 3.
Retroactive DNF.
Yeah.
See, it's like
It's
good
a
bunch
mix.
of ratings,
Yeah,
like
that's
3s
what
and
I was
4s.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
All Gavin's angles are good. I agree.
I had to quickly grab my charger because I was down to 8% battery on my laptop. So I was like, I've been watching it tick down this entire time. And it's been going down much quicker than it should be. So I was just like sweating. I'm like,
I think I'll need to do it the other way around though. Next time we'll start with the negatives and then we'll go on to positives.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not moaning though. We're just like talking about bits and like discussing.
hopefully there's nothing negative about the next one. Hopefully there's nothing negative about Deathless Girls.
Let's double check again.
Oh, do it.
Oh wait, it changed.
No.
Yeah. Serpent and Dove is
Serpent and
winning now.
Dove.
Oh, the Instagrammers are coming.
Gosh darn it.
It is very
Hold on.
popular on
It's
Instagram
still
right now.
very, very,
Very
close.
close. House of Salt and Sorrows could still get it, and I'm nervous because I really liked that one. I gave it because I know someone's going to shit on it, and I'll be like, yeah.
Afterwards, just like, yeah. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. This
There's a lot-
will still change
There's
a
so
lot.
much to discuss with that book, though, that it could be fun if that one wins.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to discuss about that.
I think I watched 2 spoilery reviews of that one the other day, so I'm ahead of the game. But
I heard people either really love that book or really hate it.
Yeah.
It's like a very, very polarizing book.
I love the creepiness. So creepy. Loved it.
It would be good for the season then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting it. It took me by surprise. I liked it a lot.
I wasn't expecting it until I watched Codie's vlog, and now I'm totally expecting it.
Yeah. Sorry.
And Codie, you don't need to send me it if I'm seeing you on Wednesday. So
Oh yeah, shit! I can just keep it. Hey, nice one.
yeah, save you on the postage.
Hey.
But for the people in the comments, I think we're pretty much like wrapped up for the Sorcery of Thorns, unless you guys have any like last thoughts on it. But in the meantime, if you guys would like to ask us anything like book or whatever related in the comments, we can hang out for a little bit more as well. So just type something for us to talk about. But do any of you guys have any final thoughts? Would you read another book if the author came out with it? What are your thoughts?
I bought Enchantment of Ravens. Although now that I know it's like a romancy book, I don't know how to feel.
I think
Enchantment of
this
Ravens
one-
probably doesn't sound like my sort of thing, but I think it was an easy read fantasy. So if I wanted like just a like Snow Like Ashes, I think it's in that category. It's just like a really easy, don't think too hard about it fantasy. Like if I needed to something after I'd read something heavy, then maybe I'd pick up.
Yeah.
Cat made an appearance.
Hi, Zeus.
Well, there's so many cats on screen right now.
Just the butt in my one.
My roommate's cat. It's like, hello, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, they're talking about pineapple on pizza. I
Why?
like pineapple on pizza.
Oh, is that a question?
I do too.
Because it's
I
going
like
to people.
I like it too.
Yes,
I like it
Gav.
as well.
I like batteries on pizza.
I'm not a shit.
Better than my pennies on pizza. Were they in here for that?
Don't
No.
try it home, guys.
Yeah, please don't eat chain or
Yeah,
batteries.
please don't do it.
I have not read Pines yet.
I want you to read it, so then I don't know if I should read it.
Will do at some point.
Okay.
Why not?
Everyone needs to support Gavin, his middle grade. Yes, Believer-thon. So excited for Believer-thon in December.
Thank you for shouting it out. I love you, Christy. I'll give you that £20. Yeah, we all read. You guys all read middle grade as well, right? I mean, I know Codie definitely does. Jade definitely does.
Nah.
Yeah. No, you don't read it, Jade. No, you hate
No.
it. It's your least favorite category.
Yeah,
of
I
books,
never
isn't it?
read children's books. Just
Yeah.
not
No.
into
Jade does, don't you?
What?
You love Harry Potter, so you must love like children's books.
Middle grade.
No, you are strange.
Trying to
Angela's here.
Hmm?
What are you currently reading?
Oh,
What am I reading?
What?
I haven't
I'm
read
reading
it
Wilder Girls.
a long while now.
I have Wilder Girls, but I'm like afraid.
Same. I have it on ebook. I haven't tried it yet. I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I am
I'm
reading.
reading it.
Yes.
I'm gonna love it, and then I'm gonna post that I love it, and everyone's gonna call me a liar, and then fuck it.
Well,
I was reading the thing, the oh my god, what's it called? Kiyoshi, the Rise of
Oh.
Kyoshi that
Oh,
AJ
yeah.
so kindly gifted to me. And I was really enjoying it. Then I started suffocating. Hey.
I'm
There's all the
desperate.
poison I sprinkled in there.
Fuck.
I'm desperate.
Back in May?
Okay, Jade, what do you think so far? I need to know.
I love it.
You love it?
Oh, yay.
It's dark. Within 16 pages, I had to stop and think, "Holy Jesus!" But I love it.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
Next book.
When people are saying it's dark, trigger warnings. Don't ignore them.
I know, it better be dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to go find the Deathless Girls on Amazon, and I pulled it up, and the book that's recommended right below it is Deathless Divide by Justinia Ireland. The second one.
Oh, no.
Fucking read.
Oh,
That's probably just because the name sounds similar.
I know, but it's just so funny that that's the book that Deathless and Deathless. That's the book that pops up, the one that we just read.
yeah.
triggered.
Please don't say Deathless Skills. I want people to pick it.
They're gonna see Deathless Divide and be like, no.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick that one anymore.
What are
It is
people?
pretty though.
The Rise of Kyoshi is amazing. I am really enjoying it. Well, I was. I don't actually have that much left. It's so amazing to be back in that world, though. Like, I felt like a kid or something, because when I opened it and there's like, I think Omashu mentioned, and it's like when you're in the concert and they're like, tell your city's name.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, you know it's dumb, but you're like cheering either way. That's how I felt when I was like reading that. It's really cool if you're a fan. I don't think it's a good book for people who have not seen the show, though, because they don't really go to explain the world or the avatar thing at all, which I appreciate because obviously I know it. But there's a cat.
I think me and Codie are reading the same book, Feast for Crows. Have you read any more of it?
Why
It's so long.
like this?
Attack.
No, have you read any of it?
About 100 pages, but that's about it.
Pages more than I have. Well, to be fair, I've read it before, so it's
Yeah, true, you have.
No, I'm reading Only Human just now.
Ooh.
But I'm loving it. I'm like a third of the way
Yes.
through. It's so good. And what did I read before that? House of Salt and Sorrows and Dark Dawn as well. So it's been a good reading month.
Did you like Dark Dawn?
I did. I gave it a 4.5 though because the epilogue. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, not another epilogue. Down with epilogues.
Yeah,
I agree.
No more.
me, but it was a ride,
I
y'all.
feel like I have some sort of anxiety, like epilogue anxiety.
Mhm.
Like every time
It's
you, I
okay.
like the ending, and then you see epilogue, I'm like, uh-oh.
It's legitimately
Yeah.
Is
Can't
there
wait
a
for them to
book out
undo
there
everything.
that just says like, and then they woke up? Does that exist? 'Cause all I'm thinking
I
of
will
is
literally
and
throw
a
that.
final season of Lost.
I think just The Wizard of Oz. I think that I've read.
And you were there? You
And
were
you
there?
Yeah, I don't know you.
Who the fuck are you?
I've grown up men in my room. What are you guys reading in the chat?
I hear start with Warbreaker or Mistborn. Mistborn or Elantris, I would say.
I hated Elantris. Elantris is why I didn't read anything from Brandon Sanderson. I started reading Elantris and DNF'd it twice and never got picked up again and was
Don't
like, I'm
start
never
Elantris.
reading another Sanderson again.
I loved it, but I'd say Mistborn first.
Mistborn over Elantris. Elantris was his first book, so it's definitely not his strongest.
Yeah, when I picked up Elantris, AJ was like, but why start with that though?
Yeah.
Is that a bad choice?
Yeah. I'm excited for the sequel though. He's going to make another one, and he's going to carry
Not
on
for a long time.
I find it interesting that you both guys always recommend to start with Mistborn, which I obviously agree, but I can't compare it to Stormlight. But you guys both like Stormlight more, but don't recommend starting with it.
No, you can't.
I mean, if somebody was like, "Oh, I love epic fantasy," and I'll be like, "Oh, have you read Stormlight?" But if they're not into like massive tomes, then yeah, I wouldn't recommend it because it's a big commitment.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think.
So is it just like
it's his
size of
epic? It's his epic, isn't it? And I think as well, I got a lot of more enjoyment reading Stormlight afterwards, was because we have crossover.
Yeah.
A character from Mistborn and also Elantris in.
And Warbreaker as well.
Reading Elantris before that.
You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to. But I enjoyed it a lot more because I was like, oh my god, the Cosmere is all coming together, freaking out.
Yeah. Yes, love it. Love it.
I haven't read a single Sanderson. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Who are you?
The only Sanderson that matters to me are the Sanderson sisters. So Hocus Pocus season.
I read
I felt like everyone got the reference except for me, and I was just like,
I didn't get it. It's fine.
I'm not alone.
Have you not seen Hocus Pocus?
No.
I have.
Oh my god, really?
I have, but like ages ago.
So good.
I know everyone's always talking about it. I've seen it like 3 times, but like it's all right.
Gavin's like unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe, bookroast, I don't know.
People are freaking out.
I'm reading The Calculating Stars at the moment. Is anybody reading that?
I tried to read it. My library went out. Are you liking it?
I'm liking it so far.
I got like 30 pages in before my library hold ran out. And it was on my Kindle, so they automatically took it away from me. I couldn't pay the fine.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it at the moment. It's pretty cool.
I want to try that, definitely.
I agree with Laura, by the way.
That is consistent.
That's why Laura's my favorite person.
Oh my god, I just got it. Jesus Christ.
What?
I'm slow today.
Okay. To be fair, it took a lot of brain power to play D&D before this. So.
Yeah. I have like 3 brain cells in general left, so it's, reading Hocus Pocus, the sequel. There's books.
Oh yeah, I want to read it. I haven't read it yet. I've heard bad things about it, but I still want to give it a read. I like rage reading sometimes, as you can tell.
It's still a ridiculous part of me to want to rage read the sequel to fucking sickness of a book that is Given to the Sea.
We have
Given to the Sea.
We have a question. Would any of you refuse to not read a writer not to read the book based on writer's beliefs?
Depends on how active they are with their beliefs. Depends on how much me buying the book, like if they're using their money actively into organizations that are against certain things, like Orson Scott Card, then no, I won't read them. But if they're just, you know what I mean? Like if they're just a piece of shit, but they don't necessarily like actively do stuff, then yeah, because it's just fiction.
Yeah, I think it depends on the author and it depends on the situation. It can't always be black and white. Cancel culture is not a good thing.
Yeah.
We need to let people have the opportunity to see their mistakes and work on that behavior, because we could say would definitely not support somebody because everyone's human, right?
Because in the question, actually, Sanderson is used as an example, but he has apologized and actively changes his views constantly, and he's come from a very religious background, whereas where the prejudice came from, and he's made like numerous apologies and stuff. So when I see growth like that means more than anything to me.
And there is diversity in like the Stormlight books as well.
Yeah, he got better. Like he learned, and he did apologize. He like addressed it. It wasn't like.
And in the second Mistborn era as well. Is like a gay character now.
But I will say that I thought that I could separate it, but obviously that our last book, I clearly couldn't. But that was because
she was very active.
I can't put some things out of my mind when reading, and I just know it's gonna influence me reading it, like how I see the book. And it's just waste of my time, waste of the author's time, because I know it's not going to be like a normal book review because it's already like sort of tainted in my mind. So there's some times that I just can't separate it and I just don't read it.
I don't really know any, like, other than the last one, I don't really know any book examples, but I do, like, I think it was James Gunn. He directed the Guardians of the Galaxy movies or something, and he got fired from Marvel because of some comments he made on Twitter, I think, like, years and years back.
Yeah.
And like I think he apologized for it and stuff. Like I can't really remember what the comments were, but I remember thinking, God, that's like really bad. But like I can never hold something against somebody, like even if I know them or not. Like if they've done something like way in the past and they've apologized profusely like for it, then I'm such a forgiving person. Like I just can't hold grudges.
As long as it looks genuine and doesn't future actions reflect that, and it's not just like damage control, then I feel you would be a worse person for not letting that go and just dragging it. That argument at that point would just be drama seeking, nothing else.
See that all the time though. Sometimes people have to be like, well,
that's
actually,
Twitter, isn't it?
That's Twitter. That's Twitter for you.
Yeah. What other questions were there?
Does anybody have any anticipated reads for the rest of the year?
Well, Ninth House has become one.
I'm like the only person who doesn't care about reading Ninth House.
Probably, yeah.
I
don't know why. I don't
know why as well, but like to me, it's like Raven Boys, but hopefully much better. Like what I wanted from Raven Boys, hopefully that's what's gonna happen.
But it's how is it similar to Raven Boys? I'm confused.
Because it's like more like almost like a sect kind of thing, no? Like a little bit of a sorority type of a group of people, but like darker. And like I thought that they're gonna go all dark and stuff in Raven Boys.
Oh no.
But like they didn't.
Okay, now I get you.
And
I liked Maggie Stiefvater.
Is it fantasy, by the way, or is it just like
It's fantasy, I think.
There is magic involved.
Is it magical realism?
Dark magic. Dark magic rituals held in weird places with weird things.
Oh. I'm sure I just imagine something not correct.
It's like sorority houses, right, in Gale, but with cults or something. I love cults in books. I like that shit, apparently.
Yeah.
All the death.
Me too.
Cults?
Yeah.
Come again?
Way to make us jealous, Jade, honestly.
Just flexing.
I don't know what you're speaking about. I'm sorry. What was that?
When does it come out?
It's sometimes in October, isn't it? October 19th.
October.
Isn't it early in the month?
1st of October.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we've only got a couple of weeks to go.
She knew. She was like, perfect Halloween read. They'll eat it up.
I am really excited for The Toll by Neil Schusterman. I'm so excited.
Same.
I was
Is
very
there a
excited after the last book, but now I just kind of died down. That happens often, obviously, when you wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just recently read them for the first time, so I'm like really hyped. But if I had read that like last year, I would have forgotten everything. I would have forgotten.
Great.
is there a synopsis for the Starless Sea yet? Do we know what that's about?
Ooh.
I think there was. I think there was some sort of weird type of short story thing.
Oh, okay.
There was something unusual about it, but I can't remember now.
Isn't
what.
it about a book within a book, which I usually love? I've heard that. I think
A book without a book?
Yeah, I've heard Whitney from Whitney Novels review it, but I can't remember everything she said. I think she's read it. I can't remember. I might be talking absolute crap, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. But I'm not 100% sure what it's about.
It's the second Skyward book as well. Is anybody gonna read that?
Starsight. I'm looking forward.
yeah.
To the end of
Raise it
Skyward.
up.
Oh, I loved it. Sanderson and his endings, though.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Like the book, didn't like the ending.
How did you not like? Oh no, you told me why. I remember this.
Yeah. But Doomslug though.
Yeah, an M-bot.
But I think it's not very high on my priority list. I want to get to Stormlight before I continue with that, I think.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
There's nothing else for me that I can think of.
Call Down the Hawk might be quite good.
It's on my list, but it's not like right up there after the Raven King.
And Wayward Son as well.
Oh, you know what actually is now anticipated by me?
What?
Queen of Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, say I
Excited
forgot
for
about
that.
that. Yeah.
It's in November.
Yes. Soon. There's quite a few books that are coming out.
I genuinely can't think of any. And that's really bad for me because I work in a bookshop. I do pre-orders all the time. I was really excited for The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, but that's already out. Oh, actually, The Book of Dust, Secret Commonwealth, that's coming out as well.
I want to read that.
But it would help if I've read any of the Northern Lights, anything like that, but I haven't read any of them.
Oh, you should.
I've been meaning to reread that.
Yeah, I'm going to read Northern Lights like this week. I have to. I have to read it.
I love that.
Yeah.
These are basically the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Serpent and Dove and House of Salt and Sorrows is like very, very close, like 1% difference.
I'm very happy with either of those.
Where is Deathless Girls? Has it gone to third now?
I do want to read
The
that
Deathless
one.
Girls is the third place. And what was the other thing that you guessed?
That's it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, how the mighty have fallen. Oh,
actually, it's just like a couple of percentages.
Yeah.
Cool.
I wanted to read like all the books that we put up. Just all of them.
Yeah. They sound good, to be honest.
yeah, any of the ones that don't get picked, I'll read anyway. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And thank you, all of the people who came on here. As I said, everything's linked down below. So make sure to click that and check it. Do yourself a good favor. And thank you so much for you guys for actually reading with us. Like, it somehow surprises me every single time that people do. We really appreciate it and we love talking with you. We will let you know what wins. I'll give it like a week, since we actually have time for like October, November now. Give it like a week or so for the votes to come in. And we'll let you know on Twitter. This group now actually has a Twitter page.
Yes, we do.
But yeah, we'll let you know there and other places as well of what won, and we'll read that together again. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Mhm.